Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I've always made that same argument is like, oh, manufacturers, they go, we're going to automate internally, and I said,
Hmm.
okay, so you're a manufacturing engineer and you are paid to, make sure the manufacturing lines run well, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So when do you have time to build an automation machine? So you're
Right.
working two jobs basically, and you're going to do neither one of them great because they both are going to suffer. Let the experts take care of it. So, I think it would be the OEMs, the integrators, the machine builders would probably need to adopt this for simple cells, small
Hmm.
little work cells, CNC loading type cell, simple, somewhat standardized products to get them in the hands of the manufacturers who then can go in, and if they do need to change the code or for whatever reason or make a modification because their part changed or some environment changed, they could very easily do that. Then it becomes a little bit more acceptable. Like, ooh, we like that low code solution that you provide to
Hmm.
us. Provide it again for the next cell, right?
Yep.
I think it'll start spreading that way. So it's got to be kind of a grassroots. There will be innovative companies that they do have. We've worked with several companies that have the in-house automation groups. That's
Hmm.
they're not manufacturing engineers; they're automation guys who build equipment internally. And there's some great people out there doing that. Those are the companies I think that will adopt it.
Hmm.
It'll be enterprise level. Well, it'll be a mixture. Let me back this up. It'll be a mixture of, I'm going to call it, the mom and pop manufacturers who
Hmm.
have just a couple sporadic pieces of automation, and enterprise level where
Hmm.
they're like, okay, yes, I know our standard has always been, Allen Bradley or Siemens or whatever it is,
Hmm.
but for cells under a certain size or under a certain IO count or whatever it is, we're going to go with this, XYZ low code platform, because then you can do standardization across multiple plants, across the
Hmm.
entire organization. You can build in some standards of how do you code these low code, applications. So
Yep.
it'll be a mixture, like any other, technology. I think it'll be a mixture of coming from the OEM side and the manufacturing side, and then there'll be this, merger, and it'll kind of figure itself out. The biggest thing is going to be getting people to go back and change their standards that were written, in 1983, that
Hmm.
that have not been changed. I mean, we've seen specs that literally spec out PLCs that have been obsolete for 10 years.
Hmm.
And I'm like, you guys
Yep.
haven't changed this in a while, have you? So, um,
Absolutely. I would
yeah.
agree with that. I guess in my opinion, that's where I see the biggest opportunity lying as well. I have seen a couple of especially enterprise organizations try to kind of go it their own under the guise of we're going to go save money. And it always took 4 or 5 times as long. And they always had to pull resources off in order to, and so they're not doing their job. And when I look at the outcome of it, they're very excited, right? So it's this
Yeah.
application. They only spent like 6 months figuring it out. They only spent like, I don't know, $600,000 on it. And at the end of the day, they think they're going to save $500,000 a year across 4 facilities. And I look at
Yeah.
it and I'm like, this is really bad, guys, right? I understand that everyone tried really hard, but you're losing probably about $4 million of opportunity
Right.
because you couldn't find it within your budget to go pay people whose jobs it is every day to go find the efficiencies within some of these facilities. So it will absolutely be interesting to see where we go as we continue down this path.